There comes a moment in every chosen woman's life when she realizes that her light does not depend on who is standing beside her, who is clapping for her, who validates her existence. A chosen woman is not shaped in the crowd, she is forged in the fire of solitude. You see, there are seasons when God will strip away every familiar voice, every comfortable hand, and every expected support system, not to break you, to show you that you can stand, you can rise, you can shine, all by yourself. A chosen woman is like a diamond, hidden, pressed, sometimes overlooked. But when the time comes, she will not ask permission to sparkle. Her brilliance cannot be muted by loneliness. Can her destiny be delayed by abandonment? When she walks alone, she learns who she is. She learns that her voice carries power even when no one says amen. She learns that her worth is not determined by a relationship, a title, or an applause. She learns that being chosen means being set apart, and sometimes set apart means being set alone. Alone does not mean abandoned. Alone means assigned. Alone means anointed. Alone means available for God's shaping hand, because it is in the secret places, in the quiet nights of tears, in the moments where no one calls back, that the chosen woman learns how to shine so brightly that darkness cannot deny her presence. So, every chosen woman walking through the valley of solitude, keep walking, keep standing, keep shining. You may feel unseen today, but you are being prepared for tomorrow. And when your moment comes, you will not shine because of who is with you. You will shine because of what is within you. There are times in life when separation feels like the hardest pill to swallow. You look around and notice that the people you thought would be there forever have drifted away. Friends who once understood your language now look at you like a stranger. Relationships that once felt like a lifeline suddenly feel heavy, toxic, or absent. And in those moments, it is easy to assume that separation means rejection. It is easy to believe you have been overlooked, abandoned, or forgotten. But what if I told you that separation is not always the enemy of your destiny? Sometimes it is the very tool that prepares you for it. A chosen life often requires a chosen path, and a chosen path is rarely crowded. God has a way of calling you into spaces where the noise is quiet, where the distractions are gone, where the familiar comforts are stripped away. Why? Because when you are surrounded by too many voices, you can no longer hear His. When you are weighed down with too many attachments, you cannot run the race that is set before you. Separation becomes necessary, not as punishment, but as preparation. Think about the seed that is buried beneath the soil. The seed must first be separated from the surface. It must leave the sunlight and the fresh air, and it must be hidden in the dark where no one sees it. To an untrained eye, looks like the seed has been discarded, but in reality, it has only been planted. In its hiddenness, it is preparing. The darkness becomes the very environment where roots are established, where strength is built, and where the process of transformation begins. In the same way, when life pulls you into a season of isolation, it does not mean you have been buried to die. It means you have been planted to grow. Separation prepares you by stripping away the unnecessary. Some people cannot go where you are going. Some environments cannot hold the weight of the vision placed inside you. Some circles may love you for who you were, but they cannot handle who you are becoming. If you carry everyone and everything into your future, you risk losing yourself in the process. That is why the journey requires pruning. Every branch that bears fruit must be trimmed so it can bear even more. Separation may feel painful, but it is purposeful. It is the pruning of your life so that you might produce more than you imagined. Separation also prepares you by refining your identity. It is in solitude that you discover the strength you never knew you had. When no one else is clapping, you learn to clap for yourself. When no one else sees you, you learn to see yourself. And when no one else validates you, you learn that your worth is not based on applause, but on assignment. Many times, we get so caught up in being everything to everyone that we forget who we truly are. But separation clears the fog. It reminds you that you are not defined by your relationships, your friendships, your job, or your title. You are defined by the one who called you. Let me remind you of this. Separation prepares you to handle destiny without dependence. If you cannot walk alone in this season, how will you stand when greater responsibility comes? If you cannot endure loneliness now, how will you carry leadership later? Destiny is not built on the shoulders of comfort. It is forged in the fires of discomfort. You cannot be shaped by convenience. You must be molded by challenge. That is why God pulls you aside, away from the familiar, into the unfamiliar. He is teaching you to lean on Him, not them. He is teaching you to find strength in His presence, not their presence. Separation prepares you because it is a test of trust. Can you keep believing when no one else believes with you? Can you keep dreaming when no one else sees what you see? Can you stay faithful when no one else is clapping for your faith? The answer to those questions will determine your readiness. Because purpose requires endurance, and endurance is not learned in the crowd, it is learned in the quiet. Separation forces you to walk by faith and not by sight, to hold on to promises that are not yet visible, to trust that what feels like loneliness is actually divine construction. Do not despise the season of being set apart. What you think is subtraction is actually addition. What feels like loss is actually gain. What appears like abandonment is actually alignment. Very people who walked away may have been blocking the doors God wanted to open. The very opportunities that slipped through your hands may have been distractions keeping you from greater ones. The tears you cried in secret are watering the ground for a harvest you have yet to see. Separation hurts, but it also heals, dismantles what was false so that what is true can finally rise. And here is the beauty: separation never leaves you the same. You come out stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. You discover that you can stand alone, pray alone, build alone, and shine alone. You realize that your survival is not dependent on who stayed, but on who sustains you. And when the time comes for your season of revealing, you will not crumble under pressure because you were trained in private. You will not be swayed by opinions because you were fortified in solitude. You will not be lost in the noise because you learned to hear the still, small voice in silence. So, when you feel the sting of separation, lift your head. It is not the end of your story. It is the shaping of your story. It is not rejection. It is redirection. It is not abandonment. It is advancement. You are not being isolated to be diminished. You are being isolated to be developed. Trust the process. Trust the pruning. Trust the planting. Because when the season shifts and your time to shine arrives, the same separation that once felt like loss will reveal itself as the foundation of your strength. One of the greatest battles a chosen woman will ever face is the battle of worth. Every day, society, culture, even relationships try to measure a woman's value by temporary things. Some say her worth lies in how she looks, others in how much she owns, still others in who she is connected to. But let me tell you something that will break the chains off your heart. Your worth is not determined by what you have, what you wear, who approves of you, or who walks away from you. Your worth is inherent. It was given to you before you took your first breath. It is woven into the very fabric of your being. And no mistake, no rejection, no betrayal, no loss can strip away what has already been divinely assigned to you. From the beginning of time, you were created with intention. You were not an accident. You were not an afterthought. You were not a substitute for someone else's role. You were fashioned with purpose, designed with detail, stamped with significance. That means that even if people fail to see your value, it does not decrease your value. If someone cannot recognize the diamond in you, that does not turn you into a stone. If someone cannot hear the melody of your soul, does not make you silent. What they fail to see does not diminish what you carry, because your worth is not up for negotiation. It is already settled. Life, however, has a way of making us forget this truth. Perhaps you grew up in a house where affirmation was scarce. Maybe you were surrounded by voices that tore you down more than they built you up. Maybe you have given your heart to people who mishandled it, and over time, you began to wonder if you were enough. Experiences like these can whisper lies. You are not worthy of love. You are not worthy of respect. You are not worthy of success. And if you are not careful, you will begin to believe those lies. You will start comparing yourself to others, measuring your value against their beauty, their accomplishments, their relationships. But comparison is a thief. It robs you of joy and blinds you to your own brilliance. You see, true worth cannot be measured by comparison because it is not based on competition. Your worth is not about being better than someone else. It is about being the best version of yourself. It is not about outshining others. It is about letting your own God-given light shine without apology. Worth is not found in being chosen by others. It is found in knowing that you were already chosen before they ever had an opinion. When you understand that your worth is inherent, you stop begging for crumbs when you were meant to sit at the table. You stop chasing after those who cannot see your value, and you stop shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. You stop settling for less because you know you deserve more. This is not arrogance, it is awareness. It is the realization that your value is not up for debate. You are worthy because you are here. You are worthy because you are alive. You are worthy because you were created with intention and purpose. Think of $100 bill. Whether it is crisp and clean or wrinkled and torn, it still carries the same value. You can step on it, drop it, even crumple it. Its worth does not decrease. The same is true for you. Life may bruise you, circumstances may scar you, and people may mishandle you. None of that can erase the worth you carry. You do not become less valuable because of your past mistakes or your broken seasons. You do not become less valuable because someone else could not appreciate you. Your worth is not determined by how you were treated. It is determined by how you were created. If you do not recognize your own worth, you will always settle for less than what you deserve. You will tolerate mistreatment, accept toxic love, and stay in places beneath you because you do not see yourself clearly. But when your eyes are open to your inherent worth, you start demanding better. Not because you are difficult, but because you know you are valuable. You start setting boundaries, not because you are cold, but because you know your peace is priceless. You start saying no to things that drain you and yes to things that align with your calling, because you finally realize that you were never meant to live small. The world does not benefit from you hiding your worth. It does not benefit from you downplaying your brilliance. It does not benefit from you pretending to be less than you are just to make others feel more secure. You were born to shine, and when you shine, you give others permission to shine too. You were born to walk in confidence, not arrogance, but holy assurance, that quiet knowing that you are loved, chosen, valuable regardless of who acknowledges it. There will be people who walk away from you, not because you are unworthy, because they cannot handle the weight of your worth. Do not chase them. There will be opportunities that pass you by, not because you were unqualified, because they were not meant for the level you are destined to walk in. Do not mourn them. There will be seasons when you feel overlooked. Being overlooked by man does not mean you are overlooked by God. He sees you. He knows you. He has called you. And when the time is right, your worth will not just be recognized, it will be celebrated. So stand tall, speak with boldness, live with courage. Walk with your head lifted, not in pride, in the confidence of knowing that you are valuable just as you are. You do not have to earn worth. It is already yours. You do not have to prove worth. It is already evident. You do not have to compete for worth. It is already sealed. Every scar you carry, every trial you endured, every tear you cried has only deepened your strength, but it never diminished your value. Your worth is inherent. It cannot be revoked, reduced, or removed. It is not given by people, so it cannot be taken by people. And once you understand this truth, you will never again allow the world to make you feel small. You will never again settle for less than what you deserve. You will never again silence your voice to keep others comfortable, because you will know, deep in your bones, that you are enough. You have always been enough, and you will always be enough. There are seasons in life when the silence feels louder than the noise ever did. You look around, and the people you thought would be with you forever are no longer there. The phone that used to ring goes quiet. The doors you depended on are shut. The friends who once stood by your side seem to have faded into the background. And in that silence, the enemy whispers one of his cruelest lies: you are abandoned. You are forgotten. You are unworthy of love. But let me remind you today, being alone does not mean being abandoned. Loneliness is often misinterpreted as rejection. In reality, it can be a holy assignment. Sometimes God removes people not to hurt you, but to help you. He creates distance not to leave you stranded, to lead you higher. There are elevations that cannot be reached in the crowd. There are revelations that cannot be heard in the noise. There are levels of strength, clarity, and faith that can only be discovered when you are walking the road by yourself. Being alone is not a sign that you are unloved. It is a sign that you are being prepared. We live in a world that glorifies connection. Everyone wants to be surrounded by affirmation, applause, and companionship. And while community is beautiful, it can also become a crutch. You can become so dependent on others that you forget how to lean on the one who never leaves you. Sometimes God allows seasons of solitude to remind you of where your truth lies. People will come and go, but his presence remains constant. People may fail to see your worth, but he has never stopped seeing you. People may leave, but he is still standing beside you whispering, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Being alone can feel like abandonment because it strips you of the comfort you once knew. It can feel like being thrown into a wilderness without a map. But the wilderness has always been the training ground for the chosen. The greatest leaders were shaped in solitude. The most powerful voices were refined in obscurity. The deepest faith was forged in seasons where no one else was around. Do not mistake the silence for absence. Just because the room is empty does not mean heaven is quiet. Just because people are gone does not mean God has gone with them. Alone is not abandoned, it is aligned. You see, when everyone walks away, something incredible happens. Your ears tune in to the still small voice of God in a way they never could when you were surrounded by noise. When you no longer have the constant affirmation of others, you begin to hear the whispers of divine affirmation that remind you who you are. When you no longer have the comfort of familiar hands, you learn that his hand is more than enough to carry you. Loneliness becomes the classroom where dependence on God is no longer theory, but reality. And in that space, you discover that being alone is not a curse. It is a call. It is a call to deeper strength, deeper prayer, deeper resilience. It is a call to grow in ways you never would have grown if you always had someone holding your hand. Alone is the place where you stop looking outward for validation and begin looking inward to the truth that has been placed within you. Alone is the place where you stop searching for the crowd's approval and begin resting in God's approval. Alone is the place where you finally realize that if you have him, you lack nothing. Think of the eagle. An eagle does not soar in flocks. It soars alone. It rises higher than the storm, not because it has companions, but because it was designed to fly solo. In the same way, there are heights in your destiny that you can only reach when you learn to fly alone. Yes, it may feel scary at first. Yes, it may feel like the air is thin and the silence is heavy. But in that aloneness, you learn the rhythm of your own wings. You learn the capacity of your own strength. You learn the sound of your own voice. And above all, you learn that you were never really abandoned, only set apart. The problem is that many of us confuse being set apart with being forsaken. Forsaken means forgotten, while set apart means chosen. And when you are chosen, you cannot always move with the crowd. You cannot always stay in the same circles. You cannot always depend on the same support system. You must be separated to be elevated. Alone is not forsaken. It is the refining fire that prepares you for more. So stop mourning those who left. Stop replaying the story of who walked away and why. If they could leave, then they were never meant to stay. If they could not carry the weight of your process, they would not be able to stand in the glory of your promise. Sometimes the very absence of people is proof that the presence of God is at work. Because if he had not removed them, you would still be leaning on them. If he had not allowed them to walk away, you would still be trapped in cycles of dependence. Alone is a gift wrapped in disguise. And when you shift your perspective, you begin to see solitude differently. You begin to realize that the late nights when tears stained your pillow were not signs of weakness, but signs of birthing. You begin to understand that the silence that once felt suffocating was actually giving you room to hear your own voice. You begin to embrace the fact that those who left created space for those who are meant to come. Being alone was never meant to be a permanent sentence. It was meant to be a sacred season. So hold your head up. Do not confuse your solitude with abandonment. Do not confuse their absence with your unworthiness. You are not alone because you are unloved. You are not alone because you are forgotten. You are alone because you are chosen. You are being stretched. You are being shaped. You are being trained to handle the weight of what is ahead. And when the time comes for your revealing, you will look back on this season not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Because you will see that it was in the quiet, in the lonely nights, in the moments when no one answered the call, you discovered the one who was always listening. Alone is not abandoned. It is the echo of heaven saying, I am with you. I am for you. Never leave you. And when you understand that, you will never again fear the silence. You will never again mourn the absence. You will never again confuse solitude with rejection, because you will know that in your loneliest moments, you were never really alone at all. There is a realm of life that most people never fully understand, yet it holds the greatest treasures, the deepest strength, and the clearest revelations. It is the realm of the secret place. The secret place is not crowded. It is not flashy. It is not for public consumption. It is the place where you retreat from the noise of the world and enter into the stillness of divine presence. It is the place where masks fall off, where titles mean nothing, where applause fades, and where your heart and soul are laid bare before God. And though the world may overlook it, the secret place is where true power is born. We live in a generation addicted to visibility. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, recognized, and applauded. Social media has conditioned people to believe that validation comes from likes, shares, and comments. Yet, some of the most powerful moments of your life will never be posted, never be celebrated, and never be noticed by others. Because true transformation does not happen in the spotlight. It happens in the secret place. That is where character is built. That is where resilience is forged. That is where vision is sharpened. The secret place is not glamorous. It is quiet, sometimes lonely, often misunderstood. It is in that quietness that you discover strength you never knew existed. The prayers whispered through tears, the scriptures repeated when no one is watching, the nights you wrestle in silence. Those moments are not wasted. They are investments into your destiny. They are the foundation that sustains you when the storms of life come. The power you carry publicly will always be a reflection of what you cultivated privately. Think about a tree above the ground. People see the branches, the leaves, and the fruit. But what sustains the tree is hidden beneath the soil. Its roots stretch deep in the dark, unseen by the human eye. Without the hidden work underground, the tree could not stand tall above ground. In the same way, your life cannot withstand the weight of your calling if you neglect the secret place. Public success without private depth is a fragile victory. You may shine for a moment, but you will not endure. What holds you steady when the winds blow is the depth of what you cultivated in secret. The secret place is also where intimacy with God is developed. It is not about performing, but about being. It is not about perfect words, but about honest ones. It is not about rituals, but about relationship. When you withdraw from the noise and step into the secret place, you learn that God is not impressed by your performance. He is moved by your authenticity. He desires the unfiltered version of you, the broken version, raw version, the one who is tired, hurting, and searching. In the secret place, you discover that you do not have to dress up your pain or hide your questions. You can come as you are, and in that honesty, power is released. It is also in the secret place where clarity is born. Life is filled with voices of fear, doubt culture, family, and even friends. If you live by every voice around you, you will lose the sound of the voice within you. The secret place silences the chaos. It gives space for wisdom to rise. It allows you to distinguish between opinion and truth, between distraction and destiny. Many people stumble not because they lack passion, because they lack clarity. And clarity is a gift that is only birthed when you learn to be still in the secret place. The secret place is not just about quiet moments of comfort. It is also where battles are fought and victories are secured. The giants you face in public are first defeated in private. The temptations you resist in silence become the testimony you carry in the open. Every great victory has its roots in a hidden struggle. Every visible triumph has its foundation in invisible warfare. The strength you display when everyone is watching is a direct result of the power you access when no one was watching. The world may never see your nights of prayer, your moments of fasting, your hours of weeping before God. They may never applaud your consistency in the hidden place. But when you step into your assignment, when you open your mouth to speak, not enough. When you stand tall against adversity, they will feel the weight of it. They will not understand where it comes from. You will know it comes from the secret place. That is why you cannot afford to neglect it. That is why you must protect it at all costs. Secret place also teaches you dependence. In public, it is easy to lean on your gifts, your talents, and your charisma. But in private, you realize that all of those things are not enough. In private, you are reminded of your weakness, your fragility, your need. And that need becomes the doorway to strength because His strength is made perfect in your weakness. The more you lean on Him in the secret place, unshakable you become in the public place. Many fear solitude because they confuse it with emptiness. But solitude with God is not empty. It is full. It is full of wisdom, full of peace, full of empowerment. Some of your greatest revelations will come in the moments when no one else is around. Some of your greatest growth will happen in silence. Some of your greatest healing will unfold in the secret place where you are not trying to perform, simply willing to be healed. So do not despise the secret place. Do not rush out of it. Do not think it is wasted time. Every second you spend there is shaping you, sharpening you, strengthening you. It is preparing you for the platforms you have not yet stepped on, for the battles you have not yet fought, and for the victories you have not yet won. What you cultivate in secret will sustain you in public. What you nurture in silence will echo in power when the time is right. You will never regret time spent in the secret place. You will never regret the prayers whispered in the dark, the pages of your journal filled with honesty, the quiet mornings of stillness before the rush of the day. Because those moments are not just rituals, they are the foundation of a life anchored in purpose. They are the hidden roots that will keep you standing tall when storms come. Power in the secret place is not about what others see. It is about what you carry when they are not looking. It is about the unshakable confidence that rises within you because you know where your strength comes from. It is about the courage to face tomorrow because you have been fortified today. It is about the peace that surpasses understanding, the resilience that defies circumstances, and the joy that cannot be stolen. There is a kind of light that no darkness can overcome, kind of radiance that no storm can dim, a kind of brilliance that no opinion can extinguish. That light is not found in titles, possessions, or applause. It is not dependent on validation, acceptance, or recognition. That light is already inside of you. Shining comes from within. Too often, people spend their lives chasing external sources of light. They look for affirmation from others to feel important. They seek approval from crowds to feel worthy. They tie their value to relationships, achievements, or the applause of an audience. But the truth is, external can fade. People change their minds. Seasons shift. Applause stops. Circumstances alter. If your shine is dependent on the outside, your glow will flicker every time life changes. But if your shine is rooted within, it will never be extinguished. The light inside of you was placed there before you were ever born. It was not given by man, so it cannot be taken by man. It is the essence of your identity, the spark of your purpose, the glow of your calling. It is the quiet strength that refuses to quit when life knocks you down. It is the faith that whispers, keep going, when everything around you says, give up. It is the resilience that rises from ashes when others expected you to be buried by the fire. That light is not fragile. It is eternal, and the world is waiting for you to uncover it. So many people hide their shine. They cover their brilliance because of fear, insecurity, or rejection. They dim their light so others won't feel uncomfortable. They bury their gifts because they worry about criticism. They silence their voices because they fear judgment. And in doing so, they rob the world of the glow that only they can bring. Your shine was never meant to be hidden. You were never meant to shrink to make others comfortable. You were designed to stand tall, to radiate with confidence, and to let your light illuminate every space you step into. Shining from within does not mean pretending to be perfect. It does not mean you will never struggle, cry, or question. It means that even in the struggle, your light still glows. Even when tears fall, your light still shines. Even when you walk through valleys, your light cannot be erased. Because true radiance is not about having a flawless life. It is about carrying an unshakable spirit. Your scars do not dim your light. They make it shine even brighter. They tell the story of survival, of resilience, of a woman who refused to quit. There will be those who cannot handle your light. Some will try to dim it with their words, others with their doubt, and some with their absence. Do not let them. If they cannot stand your glow, it is because they have not yet discovered their own. Do not dim yourself to fit into rooms where your light is too much. Do not hide yourself to make others comfortable with your brilliance. You were not created to blend into the background. You were created to stand out. Your shine is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the natural result of living in the fullness of who you were created to be. Here's what you must remember: shining from within is not about competing with others. The sun does not compete with the moon. The stars do not compete with each other. They all shine in their own time, in their own space, in their own way. Your shine does not have to look like anyone else's. Your glow may not be loud or flamboyant. It may be quiet strength, gentle kindness, or unwavering faith. Make no mistake, it is just as powerful. You do not have to outshine anyone. You only have to be authentic to the light that lives inside of you. Sometimes life will try to bury that light with pain, rejection, or disappointment. But light has a way of breaking through darkness. You may go through seasons where you feel crushed, overlooked, or silenced, yet even there, the glow within you will whisper that the story is not over. Even in the darkest night, a small flicker of light is enough to guide the way. And when you nurture that inner glow with faith, with courage, with resilience, grows brighter and stronger until no darkness can contain it. Shining from within also means living from a place of authenticity. Pretending, performing, seeking constant approval will only exhaust you. True shine comes when you embrace your true self, the strengths and the weaknesses, the victories and the scars. When you stop trying to be what others want and start living as who you truly are, that is when your light radiates the brightest. Authenticity carries a glow that cannot be replicated because no one else can be you. Do not underestimate the impact of your light. You may think it is small, insignificant, or unnoticed. But one candle can light up a whole room. One star can pierce through the darkness of the night sky. One act of courage, one word of encouragement, one display of resilience can ignite hope in someone else's life. Your light is not just for you. It is for the world around you. And the world needs your glow. So nurture the light within you. Protect it from negativity. Feed it with faith. Strengthen it with prayer. Fuel it with hope. And when life tries to smother it, remind yourself that no amount of darkness can extinguish what was divinely placed inside of you. You are not shining because of what you have, who you know, or where you are. You are shining because of who you are, and nothing and no one can change that. When you finally embrace the truth that shining comes from within, you will stop striving for recognition and start living in radiance. You will stop waiting for others to validate you and start walking in confidence. You will stop apologizing for your brilliance and start embracing it fully, because your glow is not for their approval, it is for your assignment. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, and let your light shine unapologetically. Do not hide, do not shrink, do not dim. You are radiant, you are powerful, you are chosen. And when you walk into a room, the atmosphere should shift. Not because of what you wear, not because of who you are connected to, but because of the undeniable light shining from within you. You are not waiting for permission to glow. You already have it. You are not waiting for validation to be radiant. You already are. The world does not give you your shine, and the world cannot take it away. Shine boldly, shine freely, shine fully. Because when you do, you not only honor the light within yourself, you give others permission to discover their own.